Well, guys, we got a special one this week, and we're going to need a few moments of silence for the end of Anthem. Yeah, that's about it. Okay. You guys, here we go. I want to kick things off. Christian Daly over on the BioWare site had a few things to say, and it was, it kind of put things in perspective of what's going on, especially over the course of the COVID pandemic, right? And he stated, in the spirit of transparency and closure, we wanted to share that we've made the difficult decision to stop our new development work on Anthem, aka Anthem Next. We will, however, continue to keep the Anthem live service running as it exists today. 2020 was a year unlike any other, however, and while we continue to make progress against all our other projects at BioWare, working from home during the pandemic has made an impact on our productivity, and not everything we had planned as a studio before COVID-19 can be accomplished without putting due stress on our teams. To our Anthem community, thank you for your passion and creativity. Your feedback and suggestions most certainly help shape the team's direction. And on a personal note, your kindness and encouragement were much needed last year. So
So a lot of PR speak.
There is definitely some PR speak there, without a doubt, right? Nate, you and I talked about this before. They came out with a little blurb saying what they were working on. Now, granted, BioWare formed a small team of about 30 people to work on Anthem Next. I think that kind of states everything right there, what happened, honestly, right? That's a small team. You're trying to fix a big game with a small team. Like that's and then from all of that, then you get into the whole COVID pandemic, working from home. Everybody now has transitioned from working from home. From every game studio to our show, everybody now has basically made that transition, right? And a lot of companies have had to slow things down. A lot of games released this year that didn't come so well. We can name off a couple, obviously. But, moving forward, I thought they had the potential to have a No Man's Sky return with Anthem, because that groundwork that they were laying out, Nate, you and I covered it. Dude, that looked awesome. Don't you think?
Oh man, I thought it looked really good, man. It looked promising, and to be honest, it just makes me wonder, how far along did these guys actually get? How long back did they actually quit on this?
Yep.
Because 30 people's salary for a year, that's a lot of money, man. Or at least a decent amount of money.
Sure.
But I'm pretty miffed, man. I'm so upset.
Yeah, I know.
There's so many things about Anthem. Let's go back to the launch period where there was just missing content.
Yep.
And did we ever get it?
No.
No, man. We never got a raid. I can't even believe that happened. Like, the only thing we got in Anthem this entire time was the Cataclysm event. And they just repeated that a couple times. And, dude, our javelins never changed the way they look. I mean, I could just go on why this is just a mind-blowing thing. I mean, I did kind of foresee it happening, sort of. Like, I kind of had an inkling or a feeling, right? Especially with Mass Effect's new game coming out and the new Dragon Age, and I'm sure they're working on something else.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, Corey. What do you think? Do you think that they are going to be, like, these 30 people, are they going to be shoved on a new project that they're working on? Or,
I don't know.
Like, are they going to...
It's one of those things, you're right. They're probably most likely going to be absorbed. These are talented people. Just because the project they're working on wasn't successful doesn't mean they're not good at their jobs, right? So there's a real good chance these people are going to be absorbed in other projects to help out and, beef up the development of those games, whether it be, like you said, Dragon Age, or, you get into the other ones like that. But for me, Anthem was one of those things where you guys pretty much stopped it for me before I really got right into it, right? Before it could completely disappoint me. Like, yeah, the launch was pretty well botched. The game was, so hyped. We were all so hyped up about it. I mean, I feel bad for the people I got to buy the game. Like, it's just one of those things where there was just not enough to do in this game. They never gave us enough. All they ever did was promise more, and they never really brought it, right? So I was disconnected from Anthem for a long time, and you guys kind of always checked in, off and on, because you guys completed the campaign. You played into the, what was there of the end game, whether playing through that spider boss a million different times. But it was, this whole idea of having a new kind of structure and then kind of trying to take this game and revamp it, like you said, Drew, 30 people isn't the number of people you need for this size of restructure of a game like Anthem that required so much more work to be done for this to be, what everybody wanted it to be. And it's just so disappointing to, I did have a little hope. I was like, you know what, maybe this is what's going to get me back into Anthem, right? Like, this is going to make it worth the $75 we all spent on that game. But it was just, I don't know. It's just really disappointing to see that something that had so much promise is just, now it's going to go down as probably one of the biggest embarrassments for that studio.
Which is just another tack on for EA, unfortunately. At the end of the day, we discuss topics like this and we bring Anthem back into the mix on the show because we care. I loved this game. I loved it, but I griped on it too because there were so many issues. Like Nate said, my javelin has not changed from day one, which was just mind-blowing to
me. Crazy.
Nothing. This is a looter shooter. My javelin looks exactly the same 50 hours into the game. Well, how is that possible? I can keep going back to it, but we always come back to this game because we wanted more for the game. We all saw the potential of what Anthem could be, and when they talked about Anthem Next, man, I had goosebumps. I was pumped. I was excited for all these changes, and then they just cancel it. Now, granted, making games is tough. We all know it's tough. We're not game developers. We're just a bunch of clowns on the show talking about them instead. So it's a little bit easier for us, but it's a grind for them too, and it's got to be a disappointment for the team who's actually working on this to go, man, we just got to cancel.
Yeah, man, and unfortunately, the community of looter shooters is one of the hungriest communities. Unfortunately, every game, Division, Destiny, people will argue that there's just not enough content. These live service games, but just. Anthem, man.
It just is what could have, I guess, is kind of how we see it, right? We saw what they were laying out and it looked promising. In the end, they just called it and they canceled it. And unfortunately, we'll never see it. We talked about should they do Anthem 2 and just skip the Anthem Next. Well, now we're not even going to get an Anthem 2. Never mind Anthem Next. That just canceled Anthem completely. An absolute heartbreak. Let us know at insidethegame.ca. How do you feel about canceling Anthem? Good idea? Bad idea?